Yeah, we're live.
It says we're live, guys, and I'm not going to do the big jump in thing. I'm just going to say thank you all for joining us today because it's going to be a call-in show, if you will. We've got John Minion in England and Martin Coghill,
Hi.
who's in San Diego, and Jim Gould up here in wonderful British Columbia, Canada. And yesterday we had a quick, I guess a text message on one of the postings that I put up on 7spot about my own car, and someone had mentioned he wondered what it would be like to get some people's opinions on driving a car-engined car versus a bike-engined car. And I can speak. I
get asked that a lot of times, and across a lot of forums.
Mm-hmm.
The pros and cons.
Yeah. And now that we've got Martin with us, he can comment not only on the car engine side, but he can also comment on the future of the electric engine side.
Electric, yeah. Phenomenal torque from electric, and it's instantaneous.
Yeah. Now I'm going to the comments field. So, John, we don't have any comments coming up here yet. But guys, as we all get involved with the live stream, on 7spot, there will be some comments coming up, and we'll just try to field them. So, John, one of the things that you wanted to touch base on before we jump in to the show, if you will, is you guys at the Northwest Kit Car Owners Group did a thing. That's what we're going to call it, a thing at Kit Fest. Tell us what that was about, and I've got some stuff available to play in the backgrounds after you touch base on it. It was a pretty good success. This is your second year running, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's been we've been running for about 4 years. Although we did a Kit Fest light with COVID, and we were given 2 days' notice that it was going to go ahead. So it wasn't a great event last year.
Mm-hmm.
This year, the Saturday was a bit of a washout, but Sunday, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
It's an event. It's called Kit Fest. We organise it in association with Santapod and Complete Kit Car Group magazine, and we various sponsors as well, like A-Plan Insurance.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we had an absolutely brilliant day on the Sunday. What we've kind of like organised is Kit Fest is a not-for-profit organisation. Northwest Kit Car Owners Group is a not-for-profit organisation. We do it all in our own time, all at our own expense, and 100% of donations go direct to Clare House, which is a children's hospice.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly for end of care, and they do respite as well, but mainly for end of care, i.e. terminal, sad to say, terminal life of children. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's something dear to my heart as well. But we had an absolute brilliant time on the Sunday. I got to run the Santapod strip. I thought, I paid me money, I thought I'd go down a couple of times. I ended up going down 7 times.
7 times?
7 times.
And when you pay your money, how many you can go up and down as many times as you want?
As many times as you want during the day. And I went down late in the evening actually, and there was no queue. I could post my time slips or whatever. So within 40 minutes, I had done 7 runs down the quarter-mile strip.
Wow! And you got the R1 engine, bike engine car with the slipper clutch. How is your clutch now after bombing up and down this?
Let's put it this way. I need to look at it because when I dip the clutch and rev the engine, it wants to go forward. So I know there's something not quite right. It still seems to be grabbing at it.
Yeah.
But just it was. I like to do things to get myself out my comfort zone. If that makes sense.
Well,
go and do something different. It's the first time around Santapod. I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
The marshals were absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
But what I've said to other people, and people have also said back to me, because it's their first time as well at Kitfest, when you're actually running the quarter mile, all you can see either side is like the concrete white barriers. You have got no appreciation of how quick you are going.
Oh yeah. I've never done a drag, so I'll be quite candid. That's a newbie on me. I don't know.
Yeah, whereas on the road, you're passing trees, you're passing cars, you can get a feeling for how fast you're going. I did not get a sense of speed at all. I did put, well, my speedo doesn't work. Okay, it's going there for an MOT, but that doesn't matter. It just needs to look like it works. I do have a GPS one. I pop that on. And
that's what I got too.
That can't keep up with the bike acceleration, R1 engine, bike engine. So it's jumping in like 10 mile an hour increments. It did indicate I was crossing the line in 95 mile an hour, which I was a bit disappointed in. But my quickest time with the reaction time, well, this is cool. Reaction time was 0.0 seconds, which is the time between when the lights go. You get like a Christmas tree at the top. You have to stage it. You have to edge forward with the car. And then you get the yellow light at the top. And then you get 3 yellows and then green. Boom, you go. And as soon as I hit boom on the green light, I got a 0.2 reaction time. And I just couldn't get it off the line.
Yeah,
that was my problem.
That's how it is, right? Yeah, that's a big difference. But I mean, if you got the R1 engine, and it's just like that's always going to be, you don't have that off the line torque that you can get with it. And let's welcome Dave Lazelle here. By the way, greetings, Dave. Thanks for popping in. And Martin, do you mind if you just first off, Scott Rods asked me what times did you get? What was your best time? John, what was your best time?
Oh, 13.9. I wanted a 13. I think I can do a 12 if I can get it off the line. Yeah, I got 13.9 and 102 miles across the line.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm happy with that. I was happy with that.
Yeah. Well, I got the bike engine car situation too, and just we don't have the flywheel, and it's always the challenge to learn that nice sweet spot where you can get off without stalling the car. And that's the learning curve that you get.
Yeah, my 0 to 60 foot times were all over the place because I just could not get it over the line.
Yeah.
Stalled it twice.
Yeah.
Which everyone in the crowd laughed at.
Yeah.
Okay, don't have a problem with that. I'm going to go again, which is what I did 7 times.
Yeah. And I'm going to ask this of Martin, because we're jumping ahead. You're building an electric 7, which is just unbelievable. But you've got loads of experience with the low cost. And am I making an assumption? But you've done drags with your low cost before?
No, I've not. I've just done autocross.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
but getting off the line is never that's just never a problem whatsoever.
Not really in the little Miata powered one.
Yeah.
You actually want a little bit of wheel spin on autocross at the start because the timing doesn't happen. It doesn't start for like 15 feet ahead of where you're starting from. So a little bit of wheel spin, warming tires up a little bit, and then you're go. But yeah, the little Miata motor doesn't. I can do donuts in second gear, no problem. But
I must admit, when I was going down Santa Pod, the first couple of runs, my tires weren't warm. I knew that. I did give it some beans, and it just span all the way for a quarter of a mile. And the back end, it was you could hear it squealing. The tires squealing, and the back end was shimmying a little bit. So I was like one-handed trying to keep it under control. Brilliant fun, absolutely brilliant fun. And I didn't, at the end of the day, I didn't break anything.
Yeah, that's the big thing. How about you, Dave? And I think your mic is muted.
Yeah. I'm in the decision-making process about drivetrain. I think that that's going to be the trickiest part for me.
And are you building a 7 then now?
Yeah, I'm going to do it as low cost as possible, but everything's expensive now. So
yeah,
Yeah.
You know, but I think that for me the frame is going to be the least stressful part, and electronics and getting the drive line to talk to itself and picking a final drive that works. Like I'm kind of in the middle of, is it going to be bike or car engine? I know, Jim, you and John both have bike engine cars.
Yeah.
See, Martin, you've got a car engine car. I'm assuming that I'm going to end up spending most of my time on the street.
Yeah,
and I don't necessarily want to be jogging my head around all day. And
this is the whole thing about a bike engine versus car engine. I didn't pass my car test until I was 24, and I think, Jim, you're similar.
Yeah.
I was always riding bikes till I was 24. So when it came to us looking at a kit car, it was always going to be a bike engine, and we absolutely love ours, and we can drive it in the town.
Yeah, I've got quite used to driving it. I have no problem whatsoever doing that. My problem is my right foot.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, our R1, it's R1 engine. It's great. It revs to 13,750. Okay, yeah. It's great. Oh, and I let my boy drive it on a private track, and I said, whatever you do not go over 8,000 revs. And of course he did, and the wheels spun up. Over 8,000 revs, all hell is let loose. You get a real shove in your back, and it just goes. It just absolutely goes. But in town, keep the revs down. Yeah, okay. Really bad torque. Has all bike engines have a very long first gear. So chucking around town, you can just potter around. You don't need the power. But when it's the whole torque versus power thing, I think.
Yeah, that's a big discussion. It's always the big discussion, and you and I talked off air, John, and everybody has to make a decision on what they're using the car for. Like Martin, I mean, I'm going to ask you straight up. You're building an electric 7. What are you going to be using that for?
Well, all sorts, hopefully. It's kind of in my mind, it's been built for autocross, because the class that I have in mind, I could not afford the gasoline motor that's required to keep up with the guys there. And I just thought this was a fun experiment to see if I could get the power and the torque from something that's relatively inexpensive.
You're not going to have any problem with torque.
Yeah, exactly.
I can see Chris has just joined us as well.
Yeah, he hasn't joined the stream yet, but he's watching, and he made a. By the way, Chrisography Studios did some wonderful photography work for you on KitFest, and joined us on the stream. So looking forward to maybe bringing him in. We can discuss this if he wants to come in, and also Scott Rods. Yeah, please send me a personal message, and I'll send you a link so you can jump in here too.
Yeah, I think Scott's made a valid comment there, where drag strips are very easy to store. I didn't realize, but the Santapod drag strip is actually all rubber.
Yeah, well, they put a track stick down, so
they put glue at the start.
Yeah,
I've got no idea. I've got absolutely no idea, but I still had a good laugh.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned the clutch on a bike. I mean, we don't know it's multi-level or layered clutch on the bike, but each one of our little layers is that thick. So it could be easy, especially when you've got extreme adhesion coming up from the track being delivered to your tires, to maybe wear those down in a hurry if you've gone up and down the track, say, what did you say, 13 times?
7 times. My clutch is not in a good way. I do need to look at it.
How often would you replace your clutch just normally, just with street use and stuff?
Probably once every 2 years.
I've replaced mine 3 times.
Yeah. It obviously depends how you drive it and how you hoon it around. Obviously, we drive ours very carefully, and
well, we're getting a lot of people jumping in on this, and I want to thank everybody for jumping in. We're getting people jumping in from the Facebook side and also from our YouTube page. So this is really cool.
I mean, subject of clutches. Obviously, it's multi-clutch. You got obviously steels and then pads with carbon fiber bits on whatever. I wouldn't go down the carbon fiber clutch route either. They're too grabby. What is a very important on a bike engine is when you take the old one off, is check the stack height, which is the height of all the plates. So when you replace it with a new one, I would definitely go with manufactured ones.
That's all I've done is OEM.
OEM. Don't go with anything else. And then obviously on a bike engine, go with the harder springs on the end.
Yes, that's what I've done as well. Yeah.
Did you guys put like a Barnett plate or Barnett
springs?
Yeah,
Barnett clutch springs.
Yeah.
But again, what's the height of those?
I couldn't tell you how high they are. I know that they're stronger. That's
yeah.
I put them in my VMAX.
You got a VMAX? Wow. Cool.
Yeah.
I've always thought about doing a VMAX 7, but apparently the shaft turns the wrong direction.
Well, yeah, I was on low cost US, and it's like all the shaft drive bikes spin the wrong direction. So unless you're using like a
Jim,
like
that's the story of your life, mate.
I know. Sounds like most of my marriages.
That would make a great event at Santa Pod. Here's Jim arriving in reverse.
Yeah. Well, actually, I've got a Quaife reversing box, so I can actually put it in reverse if that were the case with my VMAX engine. I'd be driving forward.
Have you had problems with your Quaife box leaking, Jim?
I'm sorry, say again?
Have you had problems with that reverse box leaking?
No, I haven't. But I've the Quaife reversing box. I've also put a spill tube and receptacle far up and above the differential, so it does drain back in. I've never had an overflow situation.
Oh, so like a vent tube that's got enough space in
it.
Yeah,
and high enough up so that any overflow that does come up just drains back down.
Oh.
Yeah.
We've got no reverse on our Beck whatsoever. We took it off.
I just push it.
I know people have fitted the mechanical ones. I mean, there's several out there. Mm-hmm. And the electrical ones, which potentially you need another battery because it doesn't half drain your main battery. Mm-hmm. We've got nothing on ours, and to be honest, driving it on the road, I think there's only once I've ever had to get out of my car and push it back.
I've always just pushed it for the most part. You know, I've very rarely used the reversing box. In fact, the only reason I put the reversing box on was to satisfy registration here in British Columbia, Canada.
It's same in the UK. You need it for IVA. You need to be, which is what's so laughable in the UK. It has to reverse over a 2-inch plank.
Oh, yeah. A question from a Facebook user for you, Martin, is I want to know if there will be any weight issue with the battery-powered kit.
That's a good question. Well, I'll break down the comparative weight for the engine, transmission, and differential. Mm-hmm. So what we have is the Tesla motor, which is combined with the differential. That weighs 200 pounds. Module, so
mounted in the rear, yeah.
Yep.
Obviously,
and then that's hopefully going to add for the traction, you know.
Yeah.
And then coming up what you would call the transmission tunnel is the larger module, battery module, and then the two smaller battery modules in here. You can see
So
that.
your batteries are mounted in the tunnel low down, yeah?
Yep, right on the floor of the car. So everything's below the this frame rail here, and the battery modules. The total weight is 308 pounds. So 510 pounds equivalent for engine, transmission, differential, and that's 300 horsepower, and boatloads of torque. So it's not too dissimilar to like maybe a V6 motor or something. The range, this battery module powered the Chevy Volt for 50 miles. So I don't even know the weight of a Chevy Volt, but it's a good bit heavier than this. We've got cruising around, it should get maybe 60 plus miles.
I'm going to invite Cole Easterling to this stream. Cole and
Hi,
Martin.
Cole. Hi, Cole.
How are you guys?
Hey, Cole, how's it going?
How's everything in Texas?
Oh, it's hot, man.
Yeah. and Dave, where are you calling in from?
I live in Nashville.
Okay. Wow.
So it's hot here too. We're the same color on the map, Cole and I. both red. Miserable.
I'm in Eastern Midlands, England, and it's not the same color on the map. I'm freezing.
Hey, I've been watching Goodwood today, so.
Oh yeah, man.
Brilliant!
It's a brilliant day. We've got Pikes Peak and Goodwood. It's just
that McMurdy was fast.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah. Phenomenal.
That fan car, so cool. It's like a mini Batmobile.
Yeah,
it's tiny. It's so small. It looks like a Palatov style
like a couch.
Car. I'd love to see what's underneath it.
Yeah.
Where are you going to put your fan, Cole?
What's that?
Where are you going to put your fan on the car?
Oh gosh, shoot, man. I don't think a 7's built very well for a fan. You might do a big tunnel out the rear, though. Might be possible.
Power PTO off the diff.
Yeah. Well, that brings up yet another topic. I mean, someone on 7 Spotted, I think it was Dennis Pelatov, had mentioned that there's a Midlana that's coming up for sale. And I thought, wow, that would make a nice platform for an electric 7 too.
Yeah, I don't know. So I've been thinking about that when I saw that car, and I mean, it's already got a pretty good rear weight bias. I'm not sure that you could get a reasonable weight bias doing electric. I mean, you've got another, let's see, 600. Oh, it's probably 600 total pounds for the drivetrain, something like that. Martin, what's that about what yours is?
we were just talking about it. I've got the battery modules and the motor and stuff's about 510 for the Chevy Volt battery pack.
You're running a single pack?
Yeah, single pack. Yep.
Okay, cool. I've got Chrysler Pacifica hybrid modules, so a single one of those as well. 16 kilowatt hours. I don't think I quite have the specific power out of that pack that you'll have out of the Volt pack. I think those are rated for a little higher C rating, but it should still plenty do what the drive unit can do. But I mean, you got to think the Midlana is not made to put anything in the front, right? So where do you put the batteries? They've all got to go in the rear.
Well, for some reason, I thought it would be a platform that you could sit on them.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, you can do that. The batteries are the heaviest part of the car, but you're still raising your CG.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've looked at that with the 7. I've got a solid model with a base 7 chassis I got off of GrabCat. And I started throwing in different EV modules. So I've got Tesla modules, the new BMW modules. There's pretty much any battery you can think of that people have used recently, I've thrown into this model. And you just can't really make it work very well on a traditional 7, putting them under the floor.
Yeah.
It ends up raising you up about 4.5 inches.
Got it.
So, I mean, that's a lot of space wasted in a 7.
Yeah.
What controllers are you going to be using over the batteries? Tesla?
I'm going to be using an Orion BMS2. I would assume you're doing that as well, Martin?
Yeah, I've got my one sitting here. These are.
I'm going to put Martin on full page here, see if I can do that.
No, I don't think I've actually. No, I haven't even opened it yet. It's still in the wrapper.
I don't even have mine. I'm still like 6 weeks out.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So this has been sitting here for a couple of years. So it's a pretty small unit. So that's a battery management system, which basically every single. So I don't know if you can see this here, that these connectors, every single pin here is a voltage reading of the individual cells. So each of the cells in this particular module is kind of like an iPad battery, and there's 96 of them. So each of these needs to be wired to the battery management system, and then it monitors, the load. It also monitors the temperature, and then can instruct the charger as to how many amps it's going to give the battery according to the state of charge.
It's the same when you're charging it, because each cell needs to get the correct charge. If you get one cell going down, it's not a balanced charge, and the whole battery's knackered.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it balances each of the cells so that it brings the whole battery pack up evenly.
Are they at 3.7 volts? I mean, I fly radar controlled planes, and I'm used to 3.7 volts per cell, and I understand
3.65 nominal.
Yeah,
and then fully charged is about 4.2.
Yeah.
I don't know if those are the right numbers, Cole. You know more about it than I do.
Yeah. Absolutely. Spot on. You can, a lot of OEMs, especially in the Volt, they'll limit the charge voltage below 4.2 volts just because it increases the life of the battery. So in vehicles like hybrids, where you have a smaller battery pack, or a plug-in hybrid, you've got a smaller battery pack, you have to make a lot of power out of it. So they're constantly doing charge and discharge cycles. They're taking in regen from the car. So it's a lot of stress. And compared to an EV, it's a lot of stress. So your C ratings are just so much higher, which the C rating is just a non-dimensional measure of how much current it can produce for a given capacity. So these do a lot more current for a smaller capacity. And to make them happy and make sure they last longer, you limit the voltage range that they run in. So while a regular lithium ion might be 3.65 to 4.2, they'll be running like no lower than say probably 3.2 to 3.3 on the low end. Whereas like if you're using a foam battery, it's going to go all the way to like 3.0. That's a big difference in a lithium ion battery. And then on the top end, they might limit it to 4 volts versus 4.2 or maybe 4.1, something around there. And it really, really helps the life of the batteries.
Well, that's what a point that I was going to jump in with is having chatted with different people about building their electric 7s. Everybody's got a different use. Like Martin's going to be doing autocross, and having spoken to others who are doing it basically for strip purposes. What are you using? You're planning to use yours for, Cole?
Yeah, so mine's going to be goofy enough, a daily driver. It's Texas. We have pretty good weather most of the time.
Daily driver, brilliant. Daily driver,
yeah,
brilliant.
I mean, I'll have another car, sure, but I live about 5 miles away from where I work. I own a CNC machine shop. I can do whatever I want there, set up a charger, whatever. So I'm going to drive it as often as I can.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Well, that ties in quite nicely with the whole topic of the show is, we were talking about cars versus bike engine cars, and now we've migrated into the electric field. And the answer truly is, what do you plan to use the car for?
And so that drives your battery choice too. So the average person drives about 30 miles a day. Both the battery Martin and I chose, even though they're different batteries, they have about the same capacity. We're probably only going to get in towns, I don't know, 50 miles max, something around there. Which is perfect for me going to and from work and running the odd errand, especially when I'm only 5 miles away, right? But I want it to be fun too. So I've never actually owned a 7 before this one. I've ridden in a couple, and they were both Miata based. Well, one of them was a bike engine car.
Miata, that's the MX-5 in the UK, as we call it. Yeah.
So that one was making around 100 horsepower and weighed about 1,270 pounds, something around there. And it was not exactly sprightly. It wasn't slow by any means. It's a 100 horsepower car that only weighs.
With yours, you're going to be going down the road sideways if you quit.
Well, the bike engine car, man, that thing weighs just over 1,000 pounds and has 170 something horsepower. And I knew I wanted performance that was at least equal to that.
Oh, you can totally
So with the electric, I decided I would just go all out, man. It's a fun car, might as well do it. So I don't care about the range. I know that's a big consideration for a lot of people, but for me, it's not. So I chose a battery that gives me the max potential of the drive system.
Yeah. So
same as Martin, 300 something horsepower or around 300 horsepower, really 285, something like that, but close enough. And it's got enough torque to, let's see, if you can hook up, it's around 1.4 Gs, which you're not going to do that on anything but a prep drag track, right? But it's significant, so it should be fun.
You're going to have a load of fun.
Are you using a Tesla motor too, Cole?
Yes, sir. Yeah, the exact same one actually as Martin's.
This is so cool.
It's a small drive unit from a Tesla Model S or Model X for the front.
Okay.
Yeah. Most of the people doing these use rear drive units. The fronts are way cheaper, and I actually like the format a little better.
Yep, agreed.
You put the front format into the rear?
Yeah, so if you look at the layout of a Tesla, both of the drive units...
I know nothing about Teslas, but yeah.
Yeah, so the drive units all have the differential in front of the motor and inverter, the same as Martin's showing right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter whether you get a front or a rear, they're going to be in the same orientation. It's just how they mount. And actually, the front has a little bit of a more vertical mounting than the rear drive unit does. So for my car, with the I guess you'd call it a firewall now, but the seat back angle, the drive unit tucks really nicely with the seat back angle. I mean, it looks like it's supposed to be there. It's just, it worked out perfect.
Wow.
Yeah, cheers, Martin, for that.
Too cool. I mean, it's all stuff that's foreign to me. I mean, and it's scary to me, the whole idea of going in and building an electric car. I would be wearing rubber boots, rubber gloves. I'd be in a rubber suit. I mean, the whole house would be grounded.
Jim, that's your normal weekend.
Well, there's some truth to that, though. So, I mean, I am pretty cautious around all the electrical stuff. My battery never stays in one piece. When I'm working on it. So you have connectors that come apart so that you have much lower voltage across any single terminal. I mean, it's pretty safe to handle at, my modules are 60 volts a piece. So, I mean, on a regular day without too high humidity, 60 volts is pretty dang safe if you touch it, which unfortunately I have before, but it's just things like that that you have to be aware of. 350 volts, that's not so safe. So I've got a full set of insulated tools.
It's the amps as well,
And I've seen. I mean, I've been in touch with some guys who've shown me some of their build pictures, and they showed me the rubber gloves, and they are serious rubber gloves.
No, absolutely.
You're not doing your dishes with these babies.
And whenever you're doing high voltage connections, like getting up to the 350 amps, really anything over about 150 amps or 150 volts, you should do it. Wear a full face shield.
Yeah. And in another room, hire somebody to go in there and do it for you.
Yeah,
whatever it takes.
Well, it's
rubber gloves and rubber underwear. That's what you need.
Right.
That's my weekend sorted then.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Martin, what control board are you using?
So I bought from Damien McGuire.
Okay.
It's a couple of years old. I think it was version 6, open inverter board.
Okay.
It's got a couple of capacitors missing from it though, but I intend to put those on. But I don't know if it was like noise reduction or something. But apparently it was tested before it got sent to me.
Yeah, that seems to be a common theme since they moved to the new supply house. But mine is thankfully complete. But I learned something that I actually blew up a drive unit, and I say blow it up. I killed an inverter, but I was only running 50 volts and 3 amps. So what happens is the back EMF of the motor continues trying to drive through the wiring, even if the contactor is not closed. So if you blow a fuse or open a contactor unexpectedly, then you can kill the inverter if you don't have a trace back to the battery. So the recommendation now is to run the recharge contactor all the time.
It's time for me to throw in a dumb question again, guys. Typically, you know, when you build a 7, for instance, you can use low-cost builders, you know, UK or the USA, and have you, where you can find a whole bunch of information, including, you know, building or welding up the space frame and going right through the process. But when you're building an electric 7, where do you get the schematics from?
Well, I started with just the very rough outside dimensions from the Haynes Roadster.
Yeah.
But basically, basically from here to here is probably Haynes Roadster, and that's it now. Everything was just kind of bespoke, purpose built to fit the battery packs, the battery modules, and everything else.
And the wiring plan, where do you get that from? Because you've got, I mean, it's no longer a Tesla.
Yeah, so there's a few sources out there. You have to do a lot of hunting on YouTube. That seems to be the encyclopedia for doing EV conversions. But and then if you get the opportunity to talk to some people who've done them before, but it's a case of just piecing together all those bits of information. So for the battery modules, you need a battery management system. You obviously need a charger, and that needs to talk to the battery management system. Then what Cole was referring to was the control board that goes into the inverter on the motor, and that needs to be able to obviously receive signals from the throttle, and so on. And you just got to kind of piece it all together.
That control board is the company that makes it, or the group that makes it, is really interesting. It's called Open Inverter, and their sole purpose in existing is to repurpose OEM components from salvaged vehicles to use them as a DIY project. So there's chargers, the inverter, there's overall vehicle controllers that take CAN signals from wherever else and put it to the charger or whatever else you need. So you have overall vehicle control. The inverter board that Martin and I are using, literally you pull the board off of the inverter in the Tesla, like just pull the inverter apart, desolder the board, resolder the new one in, and it takes full control. So there's a lot of documentation that comes with, not necessarily with the board, but is on the website or Wikipedia or whatever for the control board. So in terms of wiring, it's actually really, really simple. It amazes me how quickly you can get one of those things spinning.
And where do you get all the specs for the cooling, though? Because I mean, you got a lot of stuff to cool down in there. Where do you get that information from?
That's where some actual engineering design comes in. You'll get generic specs from manufacturers. So like Martin's charger, it's going to have a liters per minute or something like that it needs for cooling. And then on the Teslas, you're pretty much guessing, but I'm using a stock Tesla water pump. So there's
one there.
Close.
He's good at that, isn't he? Look at he's pointing out everything. He's just doing a great job.
Good teamwork. It's a little bit of guessing, but I mean, in electrics, it's actually a little easier than it is with gas cars because you have published efficiencies for most things. So at a given power, you know how much heat you're actually having to reject.
Yeah.
So you can say, all right, I'm having 8 kilowatts in waste heat, so I've got to be able to get rid of that. And it's pretty easy to size components from there.
Yeah. This is also maybe a dumb question, but can the electronics controlling the engine or the motor be programmed? So, at start off, it gives 10% or 20%. And then when it gets up to 50 miles an hour, it gives it 100%. It's a bit like torque converters in a normal gas car.
So I come from a bit of a racing background, more of on the engineering side than on the driving side. But we've always favored giving the driver themselves full control. So on any vehicle that I've made, I made the limiter.
So like it's just full flat out. There's no power curve you can program.
No, it's just whatever your foot commands, right?
Yeah.
The throttles work just like a regular throttle on a car, and a typical throttle on a car is commanding torque. So you open up the throttle on any sort of car, and you're adding torque. So EVs, it's a little different, but it works in essentially the same way. And Martin and I can program any sort of throttle curve we want. We could tell it to, on 5% throttle, do 100% torque if we wanted to. That'd be dumb, but you could. No, that's, I don't remember how many individual points you can program, but it's a lot.
Yeah.
I haven't got into that yet, but I thought that there was a setting that was essentially a kind of mock launch control, because you could, like you're saying, Cole, a certain degree of push, you're only pulling a percentage of the power, and then beyond that, you can get everything that you want that you dial in.
Yeah, you can. Yeah. So I have not actually gotten into tuning mine yet because it's not running. But you can tune the current ramp rate and I may be lying about this one. I think you can tune an RPM ramp rate. Say, I know you can current. You just say, I don't want to ramp any faster than X, and then that's kind of like a power limiter, I guess. There's a lot of settings you can get into that they've hidden in the stock firmware just so you don't mess with them. And I am honestly not going to touch those to start out, but I may get into that later
Definitely
on.
No.
And John, one of the cool things is the settings can be changed wirelessly. So the control board has a Wi-Fi emitter. So you have an iPad or whatever, you can make those changes.
This is in the firmware then.
Yeah, you can do it live. So as long as you're connected to the Wi-Fi, it's like an ad hoc Wi-Fi network. You just go to the website. It's I don't remember what the address is, but go to the local website that the thing is hosting. You can change any setting you want live. It'll update it immediately.
So if you're running like the quarter strip or whatever, and you think your 0 to 60 times are a bit pants, dial in a little bit more, or you're 60 to 180. Dialing a bit more on that. Yeah, brilliant. You can do it by Wi-Fi. Absolutely brilliant.
Yep. You're pulling up and seeing John. Oh, he's showing me off here. Show me up here. He's doing a burnout for the full quarter mile. I need to dial it up a bit.
Well, speaking of that, why don't we just take a little pause here, because John, we promised that we would show a bit about what you were doing at KidFest, and
I had a right laugh, absolute right laugh. Saturday, it chucked it down with rain. No one was there. Sunday, absolutely brilliant. Had a great day at KitFest at Santa Pod. And we did run the strip.
Well, how about if I just tune that in a little bit? Here we go. Let's see if I can bring that in. So this happened over the weekend, or past weekend, and it was for the 2 days.
This was on the Sunday, and this is you can see it was busy as well. I mean, look at the banking, the people on the banking. There's loads of people there. Brilliant day. Really busy.
Well, I'm so glad that you pulled it off and the weather was better, because I remember I tuned in during COVID. You guys were busy, but you were all slogging around in the rain.
Yeah, that Ultimate Can-Am, they took it down the strip. That, on a good day, that'll do 3 miles to the gallon. 7 litre stroke tension in that. That jet car.
Mark Turney says, John, you was just a spot in my mirrors.
Yeah, I stalled it on the line, on the start line. Now that car is actually street legal.
No.
It is 796. Look it up. UYO is street legal. It's got a 2 litre engine in the front of it. It just switches from one to the other.
Oh my God.
Street legal. This is the drift cars. Slowed down a bit, but yeah, I've got the sound in.
Yeah.
Which I've never got into drift cars. I like it, but yeah, I'd rather the back end out a bit on my 7, but yeah.
I think a 7 would be pretty good at it, no?
Yeah, I think so.
It'd be great at it.
This was the AK Sports Car stand. Stunning cars. Most of them running LS7, 7 litre Corvette engines. Yeah. Live band on all day. This bloke was interesting. Built a car in a day.
I thought that was a great idea.
Yeah. And watching these bikes go down the track, I am a biker. I couldn't do this. They were hitting stupid speeds. Stupid speeds.
And there's there's John.
This is the appeal of Kitfest. Run what you've run. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. That was meant. Look at the size of that turbo.
Yeah. But I guess this is the beauty of what you've done with Kitfest, is because with all the car shows on the wane right now, let's face it, there's no car shows as much as they used to be. And to have an all make, bring what you've got type of thing, just
that's epic. Very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, we're coming to the jet cars now. He's wetting down the track, ready for them. This was quick. Listen to the noise.
That doesn't sound like a whine coming from the right seat or the left seat of your 7 that you used to have.
Wait till Firestorm, which is the last one. I won't give it away. But this was all happening on one day, all at Kitfest on the Sunday. Brilliant day. He did okay then. Just looking at the time now, I think the 5 second. This one, yeah. Look at the time.
I know. Sub
6.16 seconds, and he was doing 600 miles an hour. And if you listen to the video back again, he eased off. He was just qualifying. Oh my God, this is me. I just couldn't get it off the line.
This is John in the black one here.
Yeah, black MK.
And there's Mark over in the orange one, is it?
Yeah, I can't remember. I couldn't get off the line.
Sounds great though.
Yeah, you can tell a bike engine.
Yeah, and a cross-planed one at that.
Getting quicker each time. 13.986.
Yeah, 13.986, 102 across the line. Happy with that.
So happy to have included that, because you know what? I was hoping to get some more people from other kit car groups in on this show, because we're inclusive. That's what we really want to do, is bring the world of kit cars, generally speaking, but 7s in particular, together. So that I'm happy to have done that, and I'm looking forward to doing a bunch more with you guys.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, on that particular point, I will say that Trevor Harmer, who was in our live stream. He's going to be popping in. You've got an annual pilgrimage. Can you tell us where you guys go to?
It's Trevor here.
Yeah. So is he is now in France, and you guys do a Le Mans thing, do you not?
Oh yeah, it's pilgrimage to Le Mans for the biannual historic festival race. So historic racing. So yeah, they're on the way. I was hoping Trevor would join us tonight. Is he here?
Well, he mentioned to me in a message that he's in France now, but he's not sure about cellular coverage in the area that he's going to be in. So if it's a bit dodgy, what we already know what it's like. If it's dodgy, you just get your feed dropped. So
it's a bit like what the feeds from GBS. Yeah, so dodgy. Yeah, I do believe there's about 34 kits going down in convoy down to Le Mans. With about 41 members, I think, going down. So, yeah, I mean, come over to Northwest Kit Car Owners Group and have a look at the pictures and stuff. But, yeah, they are on the way. They set off at 9:30 this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Are they all towing caravans, John?
No, and no one's towing a trailer either. I just hope they've got European breakdown cover.
Well, guys, I'm going to say this. It's been an absolute blast having you guys here with us, and I think we've kind of covered everything. We've gone for almost an hour here. So, what do you think we should do now? Should we just put a bow on this and say this was a good learning experience? Let's plan to improve on this for next time.
Yep, very cool.
Yeah, totally enjoyed it, and I loved talking about the Bex versus Kex, and also the electric. Because electric is coming on. I don't think electric is my bag at the minute, but yeah, let's see where it goes.
No,
have you taken a test drive in a Tesla, John?
I've never taken. You've got my mind going now. No, I've never been out in an electric car, but yeah, maybe I should.
Yeah, that'll convert you.
Yeah,
you reckon? Yeah.
Electric motorcycles even different. Is
fantastic. My God.
Yeah. Rich Rebuilds took one from what was it, a Bramo, right, or the Impulse? He took that small bike electric motor and put it in a 32 Ford with a
it was a 075-01.
Yeah. And the guys from Zero emailed him about like how to add battery packs and stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
So you can get more range, because I mean that motor is it's like a 10-inch by 5. It's the motor's so tiny.
Oh, it's very small. It's much smaller than what we're running in our land speed bike. It's like by half the size, but it's pretty impressive.
You could almost put one on each wheel.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, its peak with the inverter he was running makes like 55 horsepower, something like that. So I think the whole point of that was to show that it's not very much, but I think the point of that was to show that even low power electrics can drive vehicles pretty well.
Yeah.
And somebody put one in an Exocet. They put I think they're using Volt batteries in an Exocet too.
Yeah.
Put a Zero motor?
No. I mean, I'm sure they were using they might have used a Leaf motor.
Okay. Yeah, so I've been through the gamut of looking at all of these things. I chose the SDU, the Tesla small drive, because I think it packaged the best. But man, I've been up and down and around. There's some really, really cool builds. There's some guys that have a car with 2 drive units in it. It's a 7-stall car.
What, like
they're making
four-wheel
600 some horsepower?
So the
all-wheel drive, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. They have issues with it. It's mostly related to heat buildup in the batteries, of course. You can't fit a whole lot of battery inside. But, I think there have been plenty of Exosets that have done it. They use large drive units typically, and I think a large drive unit is just way too big for a car like this. And you don't need 450, 500, 600 horsepower, and you can't fit the battery to do it anyway. So,
yeah.
Performance is certainly absurd, but I want something that I can have fun with and not be afraid of killing myself.
Mark's rubbing the salt in the wound. Get broken down again. Guys, it's been absolutely fabulous. I'm going to say thanks. Go ahead, John.
Martin, thanks for your question about have I been in a Tesla? No, I haven't, but I am going to book a test drive.
Yeah,
and see whether I go this way or that way.
It'll change your perspective for sure.
I think possibly. I do like my R1 engine though.
Oh yeah, I'd like to have one of those.
Yeah.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah, well, I'm going to wish each and every one of you a great deal of thanks from me personally, because we planned to do this late last night, and I just literally threw this together. So, for what it was, it came off nicely, and I really do appreciate you guys popping in like this. And what I will say is I want you to see us at 7 Spot, but in the meantime, have yourself a wonderful summer. And on that end, I'm going to play us out with a video file. So guys, I'm going to say thanks for being with us, and we'll see you at 7 Spot.
Jim, be seeing you.
Be seeing you.
See, we don't have roads like that in the U.S.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want them. I'd be over that. I'd be over that. That's no trouble.
We do. I've driven on roads like this in British Columbia.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at the scenery. Absolutely.
I was going to say, the 7's the perfect car for that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, one, you don't have to worry about falling off because you've got plenty of road space with a car that small. Man.
Oh man, I'd have to open up my R1 in that tunnel.
But it's summertime, guys.
That's a nice caterum as well.
Yeah. And this is Joe Brookman with his fabulous photography.
Nice colour as well, right? A dark colour, nice dark green.
Yeah. And this is Joe in his 7. Great guy. Love to have him on the show with us one time soon.
Oh, mind that bike. Oh, sound of that. Lovely.
I know.
There's a question for Martin. Hey, Martin, are you putting any sort of noise maker on the car?
Yeah.
You know, I've contemplated that because, in autocross, you listen all the time for signals. But you're talking from a safety perspective?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Probably not. But maybe just instead of the regular horn, maybe just a little polite little horn.
Okay. I've had a buddy, he's been backed over twice in his 7 driving in Houston. And it's just people don't see him.
They don't hear him. You don't see them, you don't hear him.
Yeah, I'm worried about the electric. And like I said, I'm planning on driving it as much as I possibly can. So I don't know if I should make some kind of...
Cole, feel free to borrow the soundtrack.
All right. Hey, I can always add speakers.
I can send you some of my R1.
Man.
I mean, there is an RPM signal from the control board. You could put that to a sound machine.
Yeah. You can virtually play your iPad. You can have a hell of a good time.
That'd be funny.
Yeah.
You could almost play music from it then. Oh, there's my car.
Summertime is just great. We all love it.
Yeah.
There's Ted Theodore's Caterham that he just picked up. And Thomas
That's a
Pointle.
nice shot.
Yeah, he would have joined us, but he's in Italy right now.
That's a great shot.
Fabulous car.
That's a good looking car.
Yeah. And with that, guys, this is it. It's the end. Thanks a lot.
Thank you all.
And we'll see you once again. I'm looking forward to it. Once you get your parts, Cole, and once you get your life together, Martin, we'll do this big time.
Oh man, it could be weeks and weeks on that one.
All right, we'll be in touch.
Behind the curve.
All right, cheers, guys.
You have a good one.
Cheers, everybody. Been a great interview, mate. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Nice to meet all y'all.
Cheers.
Bye.